Hey, good morning, folks. We're about 2 minutes out. If you can move in, I'd appreciate it. We can start reducing the conversations. Thank you. Okay, good morning, folks. Good morning. Good morning. Buddy Bloxham, Plans Chief for the park incident. It's August 3rd. It's your operational brief for the morning. Once again, please silence any conversations, any cell phones, radios. Please turn them down so you can get a good briefing. We'd appreciate it. Those in the back, if you could reduce your conversations, we'd appreciate it as well. There are no changes to the incident objectives or control objectives. Those can be found on page 1 of the IAP. Current situational update, night operation, Jeremy Pierce.
Good morning. We had a great day yesterday. Weather cooperated with us. Crews were all in, working and engaged the entire day. Starting down at the origin, still on a patrol status up the whole western flank through divisions Tango Delta, Tango Echo, through branch 10. Moving our way around. This little piece that's been causing us a little bit of grief over on the opposite side of Dyer Creek. They were able to get in there and put a good lick on that. It's looking good. They're feeling pretty confident that everything's going to hold. It's in a mop-up phase over there as well. Just difficult ground, difficult access, but they were able to get in. Coming around the top, the finger up by Manton, especially on that western flank, has been causing some problems. They were able to get some dozers and put some keyholes in there and really get in there and mop it up. Feeling pretty good about keeping it in its footprint. We need to continue with that as well. Coming around all the way, it's on patrol mop-up status. Still some smokes up in there. Crews worked really hard yesterday to knock most of those down. And then getting down into our branch 15, branch 18. This is where a majority of the work crews really got in here, went direct on it, took advantage of the weather and the decreased fire behavior from Antelope Creek all the way across to Yellow Jacket, and then from Yellow Jacket down to just above Mill Creek, and then started working their way up Tamarack Road, which is the rim of Mill Creek. They're improving that northern part of that line, going to make it drivable. That's what they were in the process of doing. They should be complete by this morning with at least a blade and an improvement needed. Coming around the other side, we held it down into branch 20, branch 18, held it in that Deer Creek drainage. It challenged our line multiple times in the morning, put some aircraft on it, only got a couple of drops on it. We had a spot fire, started at about 7 acres by the time it was really identified. It's up to 200 acres now. Aircraft was pulled off it due to weather, one disadvantage of the weather, but fire behavior moderated throughout the day. Crews are evaluating it. Super steep, super difficult terrain. It's not accessible, unable to go direct on that really. It's rocked out, it's cliffed out, et cetera. So they'll be working on a plan. Coming around down the far east side of this fire, all in a patrol status. Crews are mopping up, still a couple smokes, but not many. Great work yesterday. Thank you very much for hard days.
Weather, Jeff Tonkin.
Good morning. We continue to see a stream of mid and upper level moisture moving south to north across the region. Overnight and yesterday, we did not detect any lightning around the perimeter or really anywhere in Northern California. And the most measurable rain we've seen so far has been around the Grass Valley, Truckee area with just a few hundredths. Nonetheless, we are seeing some sprinkles here this morning across the generally the east side of the perimeter, and we'll continue to see that today. As well, and some light rain, but not expecting any heavy rain today, at least around the perimeter. The other thing that's happening with all this moisture and air movement going from south to north is we lost a lot of smoke. Still likely pockets of heavier smoke up in the northeast side here, but in general, across the perimeter, it's much less smoke this morning. So for today, we're going to continue with this moisture stream moving across. We'll likely see sprinkles and very light rain across the area. And then around lunchtime or so, we might see a little bit of a break in that, a little bit more clearing and possibly a little more sunshine. And then in the afternoon, I think we'll see a much better chance of thunderstorm activity across areas to the northeast and to the east, generally eastern Plumas, eastern Lassen County, and seeing some lightning perhaps reflected up there. So the main issue today with that is that we could see outflow boundaries from those storms coming in from the northeast or the east and impacting the perimeter. And if we do see that, they'll likely be in that 25 to 35 mile per hour range. Also, it's a bit deceptive because with all this cloud cover and sprinkles and such, you would think it's moist, and it's not. I mean, the relative humidity recovery last night was not very low, or it was somewhat low compared to what we think it might be. So today, it's still going to be fairly dry. Surface RHs likely down around 20% or so. And temperatures, well, it's already warm. It's going to become very warm again this afternoon. Winds, however, today will generally be light again, south and southwest on this side, south and southeast on this side, and generally about 8 to 12 miles per hour so in the afternoon.
Fire behavior, Brian Newman.
Okay, so continuing with the theme of deception, much in the same way as you just heard about weather, it's the same with fire behavior. So we're starting off with relatively low humidities comparative to what you would see in the sky. We have good cloud cover, and we have a little bit of sprinkles out there, but that doesn't mean that the fire has moderated completely. We did have some moderating conditions yesterday, especially up in the upper portions, and expect that to continue this morning. But as we get into the afternoon, especially as those clouds start to break, that moderation is going to go away. So expect, as we start to see sunshine over the fire, we start to see that heat and we see the humidities continue to drop, that we will see an increase in activity, especially in these upper portions here in those heavier fuels that did not really recover much with that humidity. So just be really heads up as we get into the afternoon, much like yesterday we talked about taking that tactical pause at 1400 to be aware of your conditions, what is the fire doing, and where are you at in relation to that. So coming around the fire, there's still that heat up there in the top part of branch 12, still interior heat in there that will continue to grow today in terms of just activity. Shouldn't threaten the lines necessarily, but it's not going to be covered by any kind of smoke shading. Now coming out along into branch 15 and 18, as that activity picks up on the further south portions, it's going to shade out these northern portions up here with some of that smoke. So it'll moderate some of the fire activity just due to smoke shading north of Mill Creek. Coming down into that Mill Creek and Deer Creek area, that spot fire is there on the north aspect. It's in heavy fuels. It's going to continue to grow. It burned, as you heard, up to 200 acres at this point, and it's continuing to move. And it will continue to do that. That rough terrain is going to make it really difficult for anyone to get much in there. So Deer Creek will start to shade that out as you get into the afternoon, but this is where that activity is going to be most prominent. Deer Creek area and into Mill Creek, it's going to have fresh air, the clouds will break, and you'll have the opportunity to see some activity in there. So expect some spotting, expect activity in those clear cuts. They're really receptive to receiving spots, and then in that reproduction area of producing spots. So really be aware of where you're at today. One advantage with this condition is that aircraft use should be more available today. Less smoke over the fire, clouds lifting out, so more opportunity for that aircraft to get in. So I'll take all that and have a good productive shift.
Safety Officer David Morrison.
Good morning. You'll find today's safety products on page 8 and 9 of your IAP. Please utilize these products to brief your crews prior to doing any work on the line. Document that on your 214 for accountability. It's the beginning of August. It's already been a long summer for a lot of our folks. So please check your crews for fatigue. Work hard when it's time to work, and rest them when it's appropriate to do so. Maintain your situational awareness. Be ready for the changes to weather, terrain, and your work assignments. It'll come quickly. You need to be able to adjust to that quickly as well. Be safe.
Park Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. So a week ago, we look back, for those who've been here that long, different circumstances. The thing was really cranking, and we were just trying to figure out, okay, how do we put an operational plan together to combat this thing? And difference a week makes. Through a lot of good, strong, aggressive firefighting, we've got to where we are now. We are right there where we are just starting to get to the point where we can pinch this off and put this thing to bed. So our operational priorities today is going to be, our first one is going to be branch 15. That line's gotten direct, continuing down, right down to Mill Creek, and parallel that, good plan in place. Second priority, branch 18. Again, they're right there across that drainage, Mill Creek drainage from branch 15. They're going to start working their way parallel. And the two branches have been in communication, putting together a plan. They're going to continue to put together the plan moving forward and figure out how we're going to close that piece off. Our third priority today is in branch 12, just completing that last bit up there. It's been pretty stubborn. We want to make sure that's completely out and tied in and put to bed so that we don't have to worry about it. So if we do have any significant changes in the weather, all that heat that's built up in those drainages with those fuels, that does not become a factor for us. So those are our three priorities today, 15, 18, and branch 12. We've talked a lot about throughout the week, having a good, strong, measured approach, a safe-minded approach to this, because this is a very dynamic incident, very hazardous conditions on so many fronts and levels. We've talked about having a very methodical, focused approach. We've talked about how we were going to take care of the adversity when this has been a bit of a roller coaster ride for us. And we've talked about yesterday's situational awareness. So with all that in mind, putting all that together, the way we have success is, as the IC has said, we are on the offense, okay? So, like we said, fight fire aggressively, but fight for safety first. We are now into fight fire aggressively. Continue that aggressive mind approach. We've got all those other factors in play that we can be aggressive with this and have success. So your operational guidance, your leadership intent from the operations section is we want you to fight fire aggressively like a champion today.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. Once the air clears and we are able to get the aircraft up, we will fight fire aggressively, just like Chief Brunton said. So today we have one air attack and two S-2s available this morning on early up at 0900. Helco will be going up about 8:30, checking the air and see if we can get our air assets up, starting to hit this fire as hard as we can. We have 3 helibases with multiple aircraft available. The Chico helibase on air-to-ground 15. We have a MRB, and we have at the Tehama Zone, we have the Spring Ranch helibase. We have the Red Bluff helibase on air-to-ground 8. We have Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 helicopters available for any mission that we need. 10 of those copters are California National Guard. Our night water droppers are available upon request. Air rescue, we have the Cal Fire Hawk Copter 606 for daytime. Night rescue, we have Copter 840 coming out of Redding. Our UAS modules are available tonight. We have 2 of those. PG&E has been cleared to fly through Helco. Anytime that we can get the air clear for them, we get PG&E up. Remember, have your situational awareness at your top of your game today. Have a good day.
Communications, Tom Webb.
Good morning. We are now still on the NIFC system. We're going to be staying there hopefully for the duration. So if you look at your radios, you're looking for version 4 is the newest clone. If you have any doubts, come and see us in the communications unit. You have to have been cloned on this incident to have this system in your radio. There's a lot of special frequencies in there, so come and see us. With the NIFC system, what frequency might work in one spot for you or one repeater, as you go over a hill or around a bend, it could change. So you need to hunt and peck, change channels to see what works in that spot you're standing at that time. One other note this morning, C4 off of Mount Lassen is currently down. We have crews en route to get it repaired by air and ground. And hopefully we'll have that back up and in service by noon, and communications will make an announcement when that's back in service. So if you have any questions, come see us in the comm unit and make it a safe shift.
Medical, Chris Yuri.
Good morning. Today's medical plan's on page 84 in your IAP. At the bottom of the 206 is the reporting instructions. If you have a line emergency today, please brief your crews on those reporting instructions. And if you do have a line emergency, please follow them. Today we'll have Fireline EMTs and medics out on the line for you today, along with RIMS teams and dedicated ALS ambulances. We do have CalMat and MERT located here at the Butte base and also at the Tehama base. If you have any issues, you can come see us in the medical unit. We're located in the building right next door, or the medical unit leaders at the Tehama base. Have a safe shift.
Logistics, Steve Doman.
Good morning. For those of you assigned to the Butte base, you can find your facilities map on page 89. For those assigned to the Tehama base, you can find your facilities map on page 90. On page 92, you're going to find a QR code. Under that QR code, you'll find additional logistics, supply, ground support messaging under the IAP folder. As a reminder, if you leave any durable items out there on the line, you're going to require a CAL FIRE 101 with division or higher signature on there to replace any items out of supply. Thank you. Have a safe shift.
Information, Blanca Mercado.
Good morning. If you could turn to page 85 in your IAP. I have the most recent numbers for your status box if you're clear to copy. For acreage, we're at 400,956. That's 400,956. Containment's at 27%. That's 27%. Total personnel is at 6,501. That's 6501. Just to the right of the page, you'll see the two QR codes. The first one's the state penal code. It allows the media to enter scenes of any disaster. Just below that's our CAL FIRE social media policy. Please become familiar with both of those. We are collecting any photos that you may have. Our trailers at the entrance of base camp. For lost and found, we have a few items. One communication device, and if you happen to have lost your California driver's license plate, please come see us. At the bottom of the page, we added the Tehama shipping address. Please use those formats for your shipping label. Have a safe shift.
Finance, Roger Rains.
Hey, good morning. On page 92, you're going to find a QR code that will take you a link to a number of additional documents that are part of the IAP, one of them being the finance message. You'll find our finance message there. You'll find the finance message for our federal counterparts and where to check in. You'll find the cost share reporting guide. And at the bottom of this page are two QR codes, one for the water source reporting and one for damage claim reporting. On the damage claim notes, we have some areas that we're starting to do mop up and patrol in, and we're trying to button those up. If you see any suppression damage, please get those to comp claims in either zone. For my CAL FIRE employees, remember the last day of the work period is tomorrow, so please get your e-pay updated and get your e-pay for next work period updated so we can carry on your FC33s. If you need shift tickets, you can go to the finance section in either zone. Thank you.
Butte Zone Operations, Jed Gaines.
All right, good morning. We'll start with roll call on the Butte Zone down to the division level. Butte Zone, Dyer. Here. Branch 5, Gonzalez. Here. Butte Bravo, Black. Here. Butte X-Ray, Davidson. Here. Branch 18, Bartow. Here. Butte Charlie, Watner. Morning. Butte Echo, Hale. Morning. Branch 20, Walton. Here. With trainee Edson. Butte Foxtrot, Casson. Here. Trainee Clifford. Here. Butte Hotel, Wilkinson. Here. Butte Kilo, Nora, Frederick. Here. Gornito, trainee. Here. Branch 25, Vaez. Here. Butte Papa, Weddy. Here. Butte Tango Victor, Delardo. Butte Staging, Mendez. Here. Fire Suppression Repair, Branch, Taylor. Here. With Butte Fire Suppression Repair Division, Davison. Here. And Butte Contingency, Boston. Here. All right, as you guys heard from Chief Brunton this morning on our priorities for the fire, our priorities for our Butte zone is going to be Branch 18, right? We need to get in there and secure and find and communicate well with the Tehama zone on where we're going to pinch this off in Mill Creek. We have a good plan in place, so we need to get that buttoned up and continue to keep an eye on that spot fire and keep it in check out there. Coming down into branch 20, you guys did a great job last shift securing that down in Deer Creek. Yesterday's shift did a good job of holding it. There's still a lot of work in there to keep that in check, and we need to ensure that that fire in Deer Creek stays in the current footprint that it's in, and then continue mopping up down on 32. Down into 25, continue mopping up in and around Forest Ranch. We still are finding heat every day in there along the line, so there's still work in there. And remember, you guys are ambassadors of our department for the public that's back in there. So keep doing the good job you're doing. Take the time to talk to the public. We're coming into the weekend, or we are in the weekend, so there's going to be a lot more folks in there looking around. So take the time to talk to them, but also continue good aggressive mop up in there. Branch 5, just remember, we can't forget the western slope. It's looking good, but if we do have any outflow winds from any of these thunderstorms, we need to make sure we got eyes on that. Still a lot of work in Cohasset, so let's get that buttoned up, and the public's back in there as well, so take the time to talk to the public. You guys heard the weather today. Take advantage of this. Don't let that complacency kick in. And just remember for this afternoon, head on a swivel, watch what's going on with the thunderstorms, and take advantage of all the horsepower we have and folks assigned to this incident. I don't know how long we're going to have it. We have identified resources for new starts in the region, so let's take advantage of what we have and get this thing put to bed. Have a safe shift.
Okay, a couple of reminders. Your division breakouts are straight out back. Unassigned resources will be over here. The cooperative meeting will be at 1000 hours here at the Harvest building or up in Tehama at the Tehama room. Planning meeting will be tonight at 1700 hours over in the Harvest room. And your next operational briefing will be here tomorrow morning at 0700 hours. Closing comments, Unified IC, Billy C.
All right, good morning. Obviously, this incident started 10 days ago. Impacted two counties, two sheriff's office. One forest, we had endangered 2 to 3 other counties, another sheriff's office, we had endangered a national park. A lot of complexities here. We've got 2 different Type 1 bases operating 2 major zones, 400,000 acres. California started seeing an increase in activity June 1st this year. We've been going hard since then, all of us have. The Western United States have been impacted. We have out-of-state resources here. We have National Guard assets, both ground and air resources assigned to this incident. We're throwing everything we have at this and still maintaining our initial capabilities up and down this state. Multiple fires still burning here. We're just getting into the heart of fire season. We got a long road ahead of us. We still got August, September, and we'll see what October brings. Stay safe out there. We still have a big mission to go moving forward on this. 80% of this incident, we have a strong foothold on. We've got those steep canyons up in the northeast corner that we still got to get buttoned up. Those are the hard pieces. Those are the ones each and every one of you are working diligently on and closing this gap and reducing the impacts to the remaining communities and remaining people out there, the ones we serve, the ones we protect. Have a safe shift.
That concludes your operational briefing. Remember to unmute your phones, turn on your radios. Thank you.